Pixar's second movie coming out this year is Coco, and it's coming out around Thanksgiving. And there has been some, I guess, polarizing opinions on this movie and if it's going to be well received or not, or if it's like ripping off Book of Life or anything like that, but it really is its own thing. Book of Life came out in 2014 and was a lot more stylized than Coco is. Coco goes for the more realistic cartoony style, and it shows in the very beginning of the film where it's taking place in the land of the living, where a lot of the characters look really good. Like, Pixar is getting scary with their technology. The great-grandmother in this movie, who is named Coco, looks incredibly detailed. Pixar has always been on the cutting edge of computer graphics, and this is no exception. It looks amazing. I can't really say the same for their art design, though that can be subjective. However, I think the story of Coco is a bit better than the story of Book of Life. I know people aren't going to like it that I'm comparing the two, but it was brought up as soon as this movie was announced, so the comparison seems inevitable. The two stories are very different, though. One of the only similarities is the fact that it is about the Day of the Dead. While Book of Life delves into more of the lore of that holiday, this one sort of delves into the meaning of the holiday, that being remembering your lost loved ones and not forgetting them. The movie follows Miguel, who is a kid in a family of shoemakers, and he loves music, but his family has banned it because of something that happened generations ago. Eventually he finds out who his great-great-grandfather is and decides to enter a music competition. But he doesn't have a guitar, so he takes his great-great-grandfather's guitar from his grave and strums it, and then he ends up in the land of the dead. Because that's a family curse since they banned music. So even though he played music earlier in the film with a different guitar, I guess this guitar that belonged to his great-great-grandfather is cursed somehow. And the majority of the movie takes place in the land of the dead, and it's very, very colorful. I think having a lot of the spirit guides in the movie help it pop a little more. The story, as you expect, is about family going into it. But it's also about following your passion and not having to sacrifice one for the other. It is possible to have both. The story did go into a couple of directions that I didn't expect, and some that I did. However, I don't fault the movie too much because I sort of get what it's saying about artists and credits. Once you get to a certain spot in the movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I also feel that the main character, Miguel, is very relatable. Having something you're passionate about and then your family not exactly approving too much of it is something I know a lot of my friends go through. But thankfully, there is that breaking point for a lot of families to finally understand. So Coco had a very nice sentiment by the end. One that was both about passion and family. Oh yeah, and there was also the Frozen short that came out before this movie. The Frozen short was alright. It was actually shorter than I expected because I heard it was like 20 minutes or so, but it didn't really feel like that. And even though it's called like Olaf's Frozen Adventure, there's only about half of Olaf in there. And there's actually a joke that he made that actually made me chuckle, which was telling Anna, "You're a princess, you don't have to settle." So overall, I did enjoy my time with Coco and, I guess, the Frozen short. There were more people than I expected at my theater. At first, I thought it was going to be empty because there was nobody there, but I was just there early. But it was actually almost full on the first showing in the morning on Wednesday. I already know it's doing super well in Mexico, so it's probably going to do well here, at least in the southeast and the southwest. Celebrating different cultures around this time of year is something that I think a lot of people should do. There's a lot of great traditions around the world, and even though this holiday has already passed, it's good to have something reminding us of it. So if you have seen Coco, tell me down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, by now we're getting a bit used to winter. We're like soldiers in the middle of a campaign, growing hardened to discomfort and better able to take